Hey everyone, and welcome to our session today on Conserve and Save with Real-Time Building Data. My name is Amber Artrip. I am the Vice President of Marketing at EnergyCAP, and I'm joined here today by Sean Finegan, who is the Business Operations Manager at the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston. We will refer to it as UTMB throughout the presentation. Sean has a degree in engineering science with a master's of Business Administration from the University of Houston. She is a certified energy manager and has led the implementation of the full suite of EnergyCAP solutions, ranging from utility bill management to carbon emissions to real-time energy analytics. She is a critical team member of the UTMB's energy savings team and focuses on using energy management tools, technologies, and practices to reduce consumption at UTMB. So thanks for being here with me today, Sean. I'm going to pass it off to you.
All right. Thanks for having me. So we'll just jump right in. So today we're going to talk a little bit about UTMB's mission and vision. And then we're going to get into two examples of how we are using the EnergyCAP solutions to drive savings, as well as to apply for some grant funding. And then Amber's going to talk about the energy and sustainability ERP, and hopefully we'll have time for some Q&A at the end. All right, so for those of you who are not familiar with the University of Texas Medical Branch, we are an academic research medical facility located on a barrier island about 50 miles south of Houston, Texas. So we're an island in the Gulf. And to give you guys a little bit of background, 15 years ago, Hurricane Ike hit Galveston and decimated the island. It took us multiple years here at UTMB to get all of our systems back up and running and online. So our main mission is to provide reliable utilities to support our healthcare research and academic partners across campus. So now that we feel like we've got a pretty good handle on that, the past 5 to 7 years, we've been focusing on our vision in terms of our energy vision. So we would love to become an industry leader in energy management through the implementation of data analytics while improving our sustainability. So like I said, we're an academic research, medical research facility here on the island with over 10 million square feet. We own and operate multiple central utility plants that we produce chill water, heating, hot water, and steam for all of our HVAC and sterile processing. We also own 2 5-megawatt combustion turbines. These were originally installed post Ike to mitigate for hurricanes. We have a dedicated high pressure gas line to UTMB. So in the event of power dips from the grid, we are able to maintain our operations throughout the life cycle of whatever event may hit us. We also own 2 thermal energy storage tanks. We have 4 campuses with over 35 outlying clinics in the South Houston or the South Texas area. Currently, we have over 350 purchased utility meters and over 100 sub-meters, and that is growing. Anytime we find gaps in our metering, we're working hard to put the metering in place that's needed and then follow that loop all the way and put everything into the solutions that EnergyCAP offers. So first, going to get into an example of how we've used the real-time data to find savings. The snapshots you see are from the Smart Analytics, which is also known as Wattix, which is one of EnergyCAP's solutions that they offer. For this specific instance, this was in August of 2023. The ERCOT market was pretty volatile, and the average price was for electricity was $200 per megawatt hour, with the peak at over $5,000. What we were seeing was that peak was starting at around 12 or 1 p.m. Pretty consistently throughout the entire month at that exact time. So what we did was looked at our non-critical buildings, so our institutional support buildings and our academic facilities. Obviously did not touch research or healthcare. So we looked at those non-critical buildings and decided to change the setback time to 1 p.m. instead of the normal setbacks, which would have occurred after classes end or after people leave for the day. So the top right image will show you a snapshot from August 22nd. The green band is what Smart Analytics predicted we would use for that day based on previous data as well as weather data. And the black line represents what the building actually used. And then you can see the day after we made the programming changes on the building automation side, that the setback, the black line, you'll see it actually dips down at 1 p.m. now. So it was nice to be able to, do the programming changes on the building automation side, and then immediately following, you can see the building behaving in exactly the way that you would hope. And then a cool thing about this specific building is that, we didn't have any humidity problems after making these changes. We didn't receive any hot calls. So this setback is actually still currently in place. And although we're not seeing the same savings we saw during those $5,000 a megawatt peaks, we're still seeing those savings, and I anticipate we will see them next summer as well. Okay, so we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about the central plants. So we have 3 central utility plants in Galveston: the East plant, the West plant, and the Central plant. So for this instance, we're going to talk about the Central plant, and that's where it's located. That's why we call it that. So this is both a resiliency and an energy issue. This plant is well past its useful life. It was built in 1964. It is not mitigated for hurricanes, and it's an energy hog. So the chillers are the original chillers from when the plant was built, and it's well over the design efficiency, and it still uses R22 refrigerant. So got a lot of issues. So for this specific project, we have been working with a consultant to apply for BRIC funding. So that is a FEMA grant, building resilient infrastructure in communities. But what I really want to focus on in this instance is not necessarily the grant application itself, because it could be any sort of funding. You're going to need the data, whether it's this specific one, whether it's the Inflation Reduction Act, whether it's the tuition revenue bonds, or whether it's your own institutional dollars that are going to be supporting this. People want the data to support what you're trying to do. So I kind of want to just focus on that piece of it for this. So for this specific instance, we were able to use EnergyCAP and Carbon Hub to make our case. And we'll go into a little bit more details in the next slide. So as you can see, these are just snapshots, but we were able to go into utility management and pull the external vendor invoices to get the usage that we used in one fiscal year. So this should be representing our fiscal year 2023. So we were able to see exactly what we were using at this building. And then we were also able to look at Carbon Hub and see what our emissions were for this building in a fiscal year as well. And then what we were able to find. So we right now our existing chillers have an average kW per ton of 0.85. And like I said, that's over the design. And the chillers we are proposing we replace them with have an efficiency of 0.45. So we did some quick calculations, and just replacing those chillers would result in a 7.3 million kWh per year savings, which is equivalent to 5,195 metric tons of CO2. So this was awesome that we were able to pull this. And what was even more awesome is that it took us 20 minutes to pull it, as opposed to multiple days or hours. It was great to just go to one-stop shop to find all the data, pull it in 20 minutes, and send it back over to the consultant to use it for the application process. So I think that it's just another instance of how using the data to not only drive savings, but for all aspects, to get funding for all your projects as well.
That's awesome, Sean. And this is not the only story that Sean and the UTMB team have shared with us about how they're using data to build a business case for projects, for efficiency, for ongoing improvements at the facilities. So just really a prime example of using all three of our solutions together to really have that single source of truth for everything that's happening in your operations from an energy and sustainability standpoint, and for activating really important projects. So great story, Sean. Thank you. I wanted to give everybody a quick overview of who we are. I know, Sean kind of mentioned actually all three of our solutions in her presentation, but, we strive to be the single source of truth for energy and sustainability data. Our history is rich, specifically in utility bill data management. We've been doing that for 40 years, really better than anyone else on the market. And that's our EnergyCAP utility management product that Sean mentioned, and it helps get that portfolio level energy and sustainability reporting and utility bill accounting. We have since expanded our solution to meet the needs and the growing needs of our customers. One of those needs being, hey, we need access to real-time energy data. The utility bill data is great on a monthly cadence, and we're able to do accurate accounting and do portfolio level energy management, but to really activate energy efficiency projects and decarbonization tactics, we need that real-time data. So that's our EnergyCAP Smart Analytics solution there on the right. We acquired through an acquisition of a Dublin, Ireland-based company called Wattix. It is now folded into the EnergyCAP umbrella as Smart Analytics, and it gives you that real-time insight into what's happening in your operations. As Sean mentioned, we use machine learning algorithms to understand typical performance of your assets in your buildings, and we can alert you and alarm any time performance is outside of those ranges, so that you can act quickly, save quickly, and reduce emissions quickly in your facilities. Speaking of emissions, our latest product is EnergyCAP Carbon Hub, which is our financial grade greenhouse gas accounting solution. So we're taking all of that data from utility bills and even from real-time meters, pulling that into Carbon Hub and crunching carbon calculations, ensuring that that data is accurate and auditable. And you can also pull in scope 3, so scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions reporting data all in one place. And really, Sean's story is a great example of how customers are using all 3 solutions together, because that's really when the magic happens, and you have that single source of truth, that single data set for no matter which team you're coming from. If you're an accountant who needs to accurately pay utility bills, or you're an energy engineer who's diving deep into the analytics of a facility, we have all of that data in one place for our customers to dive in and do all of their work and prove return on investment, right? So that's a little bit about what we do. If you have any questions for me and Sean, we'll be here for the next few minutes to answer those questions. Otherwise, thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you in person in San Francisco at IDA. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.